Hello, welcome to 8.9 News. I'm Finlo Costain. Today's headlines: the impact of cattle is discussed at an international health conference. Climate change is testing the resilience of UK wheat yields, and MPs will investigate fairness in food prices and supply. The impact that cattle have on the planet was the subject of a panel at the Public Health Collaboration's annual conference in Sheffield. The panel was chaired by Jayne Buxton, the author of The Great Plant-Based Con. I asked her why she wanted to run a panel about the impact of cows at a health conference.
Well, I think it's because food and the question of its impact on the environment are really two sides of the same coin that we need to keep in mind. I have argued repeatedly that any discussions about the environmental impacts of food need to factor in human health considerations. How nutritional and valuable is that food? Well, the same is true in reverse. If we're talking about nutritional value of food and why we want to eat it, why we need to eat it, we also need to understand its impact on the environment, how some of the negative impacts can be mitigated so that we can advocate as health professionals, people in this space, for the kind of changes we need to see in farming.
And what were the key points that came up during the discussion?
We were able to explore many of the nuances associated with the debate and clear up some misconceptions, I would say, that are associated with it and some of the charges made against livestock. So, for example, there was a very good discussion about how the different metrics that are being used, GWP 100, GWP star, can alter the way emissions are reported and perhaps exaggerate the warming impact of cows. We also heard about how cows managed correctly on the land can improve soil health and biodiversity and create ecosystem health. We heard about how cows managed correctly can also produce meat and milk, which is more beneficial to health. And we also got some very practical and hands-on experience of how regenerative principles are being applied in dairy farming.
That's interesting. That's connecting up the ecological impacts of the cows themselves, and then the way that those cows are produced and the impact that has on the nutritional value of the meat and milk, and then sort of connecting that up with the health. It sounds like it's a really important thing that you were doing there. I wonder if you think that public health policy and nutritional guidelines can help in themselves to deliver better and perhaps more regenerative land use.
I think policy and guidelines do have the potential to help deliver the kind of land use that we want, change that we want to see. But two things need to happen first. First of all, policymakers need to get a much deeper and broader understanding of the various nuances and complexities in this debate. They need to get out of their very narrow carbon tunnel. Second of all, that deeper understanding needs to be reflected in the public-facing elements of policy, such as, for instance, food labeling systems. So we need food labeling systems not just to report on a carbon cost of a given food, but also its genuine nutritional value, how it is raised, whether it is in creating more biodiversity because of the farming environment, how it impacts soil health, etc.
That was Jayne Buxton, the author of The Great Plant-Based Con. More about this and our other headline news on our website, 8.9.com. That's all for now. We're back on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.